What's up, folks? Your favorite sorcerer. Man, today I need to talk about a topic that is not necessarily particularly spiritual, but it's affecting many people. Okay. So first of all, there's a pyramid of needs, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs is one way of expressing that, right? And it basically just says that in order to do things like self-realization, which is something like spirituality, magic, and all that stuff, right? You first need to cover the basics, which is very true. Somebody who doesn't have all his bases covered, whatever, in terms of money, sexuality and all that stuff, they're not going to be that interested in, the higher stuff, right? It's very important that we take care of these things. Very important. Now, for some reason, which I never understood, but for some reason people try to pretend that spirituality and this mundane stuff has nothing to do with each other. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you obviously know that I like to use magic for, enhancing my love life, so to speak, and also for finances, of course, right? Now, I used to manage money for people professionally, right? Been a while, but I got the skills. So what you need to know is, and you're probably aware of it, is that whenever there was a crisis, we were ecstatic. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. You know why? Because the markets are emotional. And because the markets are emotional, it means most people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Plus, the concept of most people when it comes to that stuff is they're just waiting for the stock to go up. They have no concept of the ability to be able to profit from a company going down. And yes, by extension, benefiting from a market going down. That's what's called short selling, okay? Now, in the next decade, bro, if you cannot short sell, you basically have no ability to make money in the markets. Zero. Because everything's going to fucking fall. Everything's going to implode. Except for this, a hype here and there. Maybe some crypto pump and dump or whatever, right? The bottom line is, though, that we're going not just in a recession, we're going into a depression, for sure, okay? The next couple of years, over the next decade, so to speak, until the mid-2030s, I would say, it's going down, yeah. And it's going to stay low. The system is collapsing. You even realize that that's going on. The dollar is fucked. It is. The BRICS nations, they're all coming together, ganging up on America, and they're going to fuck you. If you're dependent on the dollar and its development, you see? Everybody can make money when the markets go up. Now, what does that have to do with my usual topics such as spirituality? See, if you're an occultist, if you're initiated into certain occult arts, you're able to predict the cycles to an extent. It's not that you're predicting them, you're just reading the signs, right? Through something like astrology, for instance. Okay? So, see, the markets are influenced by mass psychology. What is mass psychology? Mass psychology is essentially many people having their subconscious mind influenced by some form of energy. Based on that, having emotional responses, and based on that, making certain decisions. And if you add that up 1 million, 2 million, 3 million times, you're going to come up with a market. So that's what the stock market is. Many individuals, of course, some institutional investors, but guess what? Who calls the shots with an institutional investor? Very few individuals, right? That all comes down to individuals. So, based on that, it's not hard to understand that the basic concept of a horoscope that would affect an individual and how their day goes and how, what's going to happen in their lives, you can you can basically extend that and understand that the cycles that affect the planet are going to affect the markets as a whole. Does that make sense? I hope so. There's always this example that I use to explain to people how you could use astrology for stocks, right? I've mentioned this example many, many times because it's so simple to understand. Okay, in reality, this is way more complex, but let me break it down to you. Different planets rule different elements and rule different aspects of life. Venus, for instance, rules the aspect of beauty and aesthetics, correct? Saturn is the planet of restriction and usually brings crisis in order to teach you something. So, if you have Venus negatively aspected by Saturn, it means that the energy influence of Venus here on Earth is going to be diminished, which means the following thing. A stock of a company that is ruled by Venus, such as L'Oreal or any other of those fucking makeup brands, make your pick, is going to be negatively affected by that, which means the stock price is going to go down, right? Very simple concept. And like I said, sometimes it's that simple. More often it's much more complicated, right? Because you have to have not just aspects that you look at, different angles, you look at combinations of different angles or whatever, right? But the bottom line is, it's fairly simple to figure out which industry, which stock, because stocks have birth charts. It's fairly easy to figure out which one is going to do well, which one's not going to do well. And on top of that, if you're able to short sell, you can only win. You can only win, okay? And, I mean, listen. This concept of short selling is important for the next decade overall, right? But even more than that, it's important for, I'd say, the next 18 months, where all of you are going to get fucking grilled. Not just if you're in the markets, okay? That's not what I'm. Those are people that even have a little bit of money to spare. Not just if you're participating in the markets. No, I mean, the people that are participating in the markets is a very small percentage of the population. They have a little money to spare and all that stuff, right? Most people don't even know what the fuck's going on. They don't know. No, you're going to get grilled by inflation. You're going to get grilled by so many different factors, all right? So the bottom line is the next 18 months, they're going to basically implode this fucking system, all right? And then it's planning on introducing this new currency and CBDC, all this bullshit you probably heard about, right? So anyways, the bottom line is, for the next couple of months and years, you have the ability to make a fuckload of money. Or basically, you don't have the ability, you have the opportunity to make a fuckload of money doing what I just said. Using astrology, astrological knowledge, and combining that with short selling. So, I'm willing to share something now. The thing is that people think it's only about astrological knowledge. First of all, you have to understand this thing, which means you have to have the technical skills to trade. You have to understand what options are. You have to understand what a stock is. You have to understand what a bond is. You have to understand different commodities. You have to understand basically asset classes. You have to understand different economic cycles. You have to understand, what is an alpha? What is a beta? What is volatility? What is the velocity of money? How does a political decision affect a certain market segment? Blah, 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 all this stuff, right? You have to know where to look for those things. You have to know how to do your research, or how to access the research of individuals who know what they're doing, okay? So the bottom line is, the technical skills are one thing, and then you add this astrological knowledge on top of it, boom. Now you gotta You can only win, bottom line, okay? So, I've did a training program in the past where I shared technical knowledge on how to trade and how to operate in the markets, right? Now, what these guys are now going to receive is the astrological background. I gave them some time to digest the technical stuff. You know, of course, I also recommend certain brokers. No, I do not get paid for recommending a broker and whatnot. The point is, I'm gonna now introduce you to this astrological stuff, right? Now, those guys already got it, the technical side, but they're also getting the astrological part now. Now, in that context, I want to share some stuff on YouTube as well, just to let you know that stuff. Now, if you're interested in learning about this, because some of you might not care. Some of you might not care and might want to struggle financially forever. That's fine. But some of you might care. So if you're interested in that stuff, in financial astrology and how to trade markets based on astrology, I'm going to put out some videos here letting you know about these things. So if you're interested in that stuff, I need at least 10 comments below this video that say yes, because I'm not just going to do it for myself, right? 10 comments that say yes, and I'm going to start sharing some of this astrological knowledge. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.